Welcome to Best in Class. My name is AJ Madden. I help individuals and organizations become best in class at what they do. We have an exceptional guest today with a great story and a lot of great knowledge to share. Nicole Harris is a regional manager for Crunch Fitness. In just 3 years, she climbed the ladder from being a part-time group fitness instructor all the way up to regional manager of now 6 different locations. Her side business as a group fitness instructor, being an EMT for 14 years, and work as a project coordinator gave her the background in health and business to propel her forward after finding her true passion at Crunch. When she's not working, she's busy with her family, gardening, and training up her 3 dogs. She's also a triathlete striving for worlds in 2024 and is a huge fan of nature, living in the moment, and viewing what the world can provide. Nicole Harris, welcome to Best in Class.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Oh, excellent. Well, I want to jump right into your story and your wisdom because it's a great one. And as we talked about before, Nicole moved up very quickly from a group fitness instructor to regional manager. And Nicole and I met at the Wilkes-Barre location of Crunch Fitness. I was signing up there in my travels to see some clients in the area. And what struck me was, of course, her story of going from, an entry level position to regional manager, but also her leadership energy, which we've talked about on the podcast before, the true leadership energy, which is presence, being fully present to the moment. She was fully attentive to me. I mean, it was a busy location, a lot going on, but she was fully present and locked in on me in the conversation. The second P we talk about is posture, which is just another word for confidence. She's extremely confident in herself, projected confidence, and confidence in Crunch and the product, and me being successful there as a member, and also her positivity. Extremely positive energy, positive person, glowing with positivity, and with the posture and presence as well. So that struck me, instantly, and I thought, wow, she'd be a great guest on the podcast. And I thought the sky was the limit for her in terms of her career as a manager. So Nicole, let's jump into some of your mindsets, some key mindsets that have helped you become successful in your career, as well as that could help others.
Absolutely. So this is one I kind of had to think about, right? So things kind of happen naturally over time. And when you actually sit down and reflect on some things, it kind of brings things to light. So it was fun to kind of figure these out. But if I could pick just three, my first one would be quiet the mind. Every day, there's a lot that goes on. As you said, when we met, the gym was pumping. There was music going. I'm taking you on a tour. There's other people waiting. But at the end of the day, if you can quiet your mind and have that as your mindset overall, you'll never be overwhelmed. You'll never, ever feel like, everybody's waiting, everybody's watching, everybody is just standing there staring at you. You know that you can be present, you can be in the moment. And then you can just attack whatever needs to be attacked, or you need to establish and create that experience that you need to create for the next individual that's in front of you. So that would be the first one for sure. The second one would be to learn something from every conversation you have, good or bad. That's something that was instilled with me earlier on, even probably as a kid, to be honest, because every conversation you have, if you can quiet the mind and if you can actually hear them, not just listen, but actually hear what they're saying and paying attention and absorbing what these words are that are coming out, you'll always find a golden nugget, whether it's a good conversation and it's upbeat and it's positive and, you're on cloud nine, or it's a really south conversation and you don't really want to be there, but it needs to be had. And if you can make sure that you're in the moment and you listen, you'll always take something away from it, something that can improve you as a person, as a professional, and just as a human being. Honestly, that's something I think we all need nowadays, professionally and outside of professional. And the last one is, I wrote so many.
Give us all of them, please.
Okay, so to give you all of them, resilience and hard work, keeping that in your mind. You know, every day you're going to wake up, every day you're not going to want to be there. There's no way that every day you're just on cloud nine, wanting to be at work, wanting to do the things that you want to do. There are some days you would just want to lay in bed. But resilience and hard work will take you far. You know, resilience being that you can make it through anything that's in front of you, whether it's a hard day ahead of you, whether you just woke up to a nasty email at 6 a.m. And you're like, why'd they email me at 6 a.m.? Or you woke up and you had a great email and you still don't want to get up. You know, resilience is the key to moving forward. And the last one is accept and thrive in failure. You know, always make mistakes and always finish. You'll never be successful if you never make a mistake. The most successful people in life made so many mistakes to get to where they are that it's incredibly important to embrace them, accept them, take ownership, and always learn and move forward.
Oh, excellent. Excellent tips that really could apply to, to anyone in any situation. They're very universal, fundamental principles of success, from a mindset perspective. Can you give us some tips how you quiet your mind? Do you have a mantra? Do you breathe? How do you quiet your mind to be present? Because your presence was noticeable when we met, and fully present to the moment. And Gannon Baker, one of our previous guests, he was a coach to LeBron James and Kobe Bryant. And he says, your presence is a present. And when someone has great presence, it is a present to the person in front of them, because it's rare to get someone's full attention like that. So what are some tips that you would give to someone, or what's your process to be fully present to the moment?
It's a lot of breathing, a lot of refocusing. When you get overwhelmed, it's easy to let your mind race of all of the things that are going on around you, right? So breathing, taking one deep breath and telling myself, be present, be in the moment, listen to them. While I might have missed the first half of their conversation, I can refocus for the second half and be present and in the moment. That's something I practice even with our personal trainers. You know, they have to meet with every single member. We offer it, at least, for every single member. And with that, there's always loud music. There's always people coming in, coming out of leaving that door. There's people laughing. Everybody's having a good time. It's hard to be in the moment. And that person in front of us is telling us their life story. It's telling us their why they decided to pick up the keys and come into the gym and focus on themselves. And it's so incredibly important that we give them ourselves. So telling ourselves in that moment to pay attention, to really just refocus and breathe through it is key. But I also position myself accordingly. So I've learned a lot through the years of where I'm most distracted and where I'm least distracted. And that's key. And it's one of those learning processes. It's one of those mistakes I've made in the past. But learning where and to place yourself to be successful is important as well. So I know if I'm facing the gym floor, there's no way I'm paying attention. There's just too much going on. And operationally, I'm paying attention to way too much to focus. But if I can make sure my back is towards the majority of people, I'm good. I can focus on one person at a time. So it's key to breathe. It's key to tell yourself to focus, to be present with that person and to hear them and that they are important. But it's also key to learn how to place yourself in a most chaotic situation.
Oh, that's brilliant. Okay. So there's an action step, which is breathing. There's some self-talk, a mindset, which is to focus. And then there's an environmental factor, which is to set yourself up for success in the environment. Okay, boy, that is gold right there. That's gold. I've never heard someone talk about the environmental factor like you did there, that's a great tip for all of us. We could use that anywhere and everywhere. Nicole, what are some key habits, daily habits that would help someone become best in class at what they do? Some habits you formed over the years, learned and practiced. What are some keys for you?
Again, that list is ever growing, right? All the time. You're always going to learn how to propel forward. I would say, doing something uncomfortable every day is key. That would be one of the most important. I think everyone can support that one. As far as anybody you bring on or anybody listening, everybody knows that we need to step outside our comfort zone. And even in my interview process, that's something I tell everybody, is one thing I'm known for is pushing you outside your comfort zone. And I give them tasks to do it, even in an interview that they're not going to be comfortable with, but I need to see how they react. Because daily, if you're not willing to put yourself in an uncomfortable situation, you're not willing to grow. And if you're not willing to grow, you're never going to be successful, right? You're always going to be stagnant. And you might be successful in your own, I don't want to say you won't be, but you might be successful in your own definition. But if you're looking to go above and beyond, if you're looking to take that next step, you have to be uncomfortable to do so, right? Outside of that, definitely taking care of your health. It's kind of cliche because obviously I work at a gym, but if you don't take care of yourself, you're never going to be taking care of others. And that plays a big role in today's day and age with, of course, mental health and our pandemic with obesity and making sure that we are strong and capable. There's so many health issues that are going around, and I've seen both sides, right? I've seen the side where I pick you up on your worst day of life and I have to take you to a hospital where you know no one and you have no idea what's going on, all because there's an internal problem. And then I've seen the flip side where I get to help prevent that, which is the most joyous part of what I do. And it's so incredibly important seeing both sides that we do take care of ourselves. We do take time, whether it's you don't have to work out, you could take a walk. You could just get movement in. We're so sedentary now that it really plays a role with how we feel about ourselves mentally and physically. So taking care of your health is incredibly important daily. The third one would be just never chase your passion. I'm sorry, never chase the money, always chase your passion.
Right.
That's a daily habit that you want to wake up to, for sure. Your passion will take you where you need to be. But if you chase the dollar, you'll never succeed in passion. And with that, you'll always be spinning your wheels. You'll always be unhappy in some sort of fashion. And maybe not, but like I said, if you're willing and if you're wanting to take that next step, you have to chase your passion and everything else will flow around you. But the last one, it's funny because I was working on these super late. So it was a little hilarious whenever I was writing this down, but sleep is important. That's something that I've learned recently as I'm getting older, that I can't stay up super late and just function appropriately anymore. So as I get older, sleep and have minimal energy drinks. That's key.
That's excellent. Oh, gold. A lot, so much gold there. I mean, you hit the habits from several different angles, from a career sense, from doing uncomfortable things and prioritizing your health. And I love how you described, take care of yourself and your health so you can take care of others. I think that's really a really important frame for people. I call it be selfish so you can be useful. You have to be 50% selfish so you can be useful. And being selfish is prioritizing your exercise, your sleep, stress reduction, things that bring you joy, so you can be useful to others. You have to be selfish first. Excellent tips, my friend. Excellent tips. How do you define excellence, Nicole?
This is tough. Defining excellence, it means something different for everybody, I think.
Sure.
If you sit and reflect on what's excellent, you're going to have so many things flood through your mind. It could be things that you've done. It could be just things around you that you're looking at. My definition of excellence was to be the best, to be superior, go above and beyond. That's excellence. So there's a difference between excellence and then just, I guess the right word would be like a meet expectations, right? You can meet expectations and do whatever you need to do daily. or you can go above and beyond, be superior, and have excellence and move with excellence every day. And I think that really signifies moving forward in your process.
Oh, brilliant definition. Brilliant. And you going above and beyond at every step of your in every step of your career, I I imagine is why you climbed so fast, in a highly competitive industry. It was going above and beyond at every step, correct?
It was, but I think that goes back to just being passionate. It was never my intent to climb the ladder. If you ask my previous, well, actually my current boss now, who promoted me previously to fitness manager, even we've kind of climbed together at that point, which is super exciting. Um, I told him flat out that I never wanted to be a manager, but I would for that company. And it kind of just grew from there. It was never something I chased. I just chased my passion and everything else flowed around.
I see. Oh, beautiful. Well said. What's your definition of service?
That's a big one. I've been in the service industry all my life. Whether it's on an ambulance, servicing the community, individuals, or servicing my own clients as a trainer and instructor, or even just servicing my staff at this point. Service is super important to me. It's providing help to someone in need, right? Everybody has needs. Everybody has something that you can help. And being of service is so incredibly important to everyone's success. It's important to be selfish, but it's equally important to be of service to those around you to help them grow.
Well said. Well said. And a veteran of the service industry, from being an EMT to helping people change their lives through fitness, that's obviously been a key component in your life. And you combine that with the passion you have for what you do, again, service, and then going above and beyond with excellence. And now you've got a really great recipe for career success, which, as you stated, you didn't aim to be a regional manager, but it just happened because you followed the process of following your passion, going above and beyond, and committing to service. And that's why you're here where you are. And it's only upward, onward, and upward from here, I'm sure. What is one big hardship that you overcame in life, personally or professionally?
That's hard. Uh, to pinpoint a very specific one, it was before I even honestly started as a group fitness instructor. I think so as an EMT, I worked about 3 to 4 of those positions to put myself through college. And through that, it's a lot, it's very busy. I'm studying, I'm working, I'm doing your swing shifts, I'm overnight, some days, I'm mandated overtime. And it came to a point where after I graduated, you kind of lose yourself in the hustle and bustle of everyday life. And my world kind of came crashing at one point where I didn't know who I was, what I even liked to do, because I had that taken away. I shouldn't say had it taken away, but I prioritized a lot of other things instead. And that's where it was on a whim. I've always wanted to travel the entire Appalachian Trail. Just something I've always wanted to do. I probably never will do it because you have to take like 6 months off work, and I just can't do that now. Should have did it a long time ago. But I was given and gifted this crazy amount of backpacking gear. It was somebody that I worked with when I was working on the ambulance. His name is Al, and he had been gifted, and he'll never use it, he said. So he gave it all to me. It was, probably thousands of dollars worth of equipment. I had my tent, I had my backpack, I had everything I needed. And one day I picked up a map and I was like, I'm going to do some of it. I'm going to take a long weekend. I'm going to hike. I'm going to take my dog for safety and we're going to go. And he's singing in the background. And we just hiked for days. But it was in those days that I found the most clarity I've ever found in my entire life. I was able to, for the first time, actually fully understand who I was, because there's nothing around you. You can take your phone and you can play music, but that phone's going to die. So you really have to be strategic with that. And eventually you run out of service. So you're not going to have it anyway.
Mm.
But it's in those moments that I was able to learn how to quiet my mind, to learn how to appreciate the smallest little things, like the branches moving in the wind, the leaves turning over when it's about to storm, the little raindrops or the dew that comes on the tent. Like it's the smallest little things in life that we take for granted and we don't see because we're so busy. And I was able to take that and experience that. But getting through what I had to go through to get there was the most hardest thing I had to do. There was a lot of death. I was young when I got into being an EMT. I didn't fully understand, what that entailed. So I had to pretty much grow up very, very quickly, dealing with all of that and that chaos and making sure that I can act on a whim and act appropriately. But losing myself through that process, and when I quit the ambulance and didn't know what to do, that was the most worrisome point of my life. And I was young. I was maybe 22. That's a place where people are supposed to be finding joy and happiness. They're going out with their friends, they're doing this, they're doing that. But I was kind of stuck at home, not sure even how to act or how to dress myself because I've been in blues my entire life, you know? So going through that really was a pivotal moment in my entire life. And honestly, how I handle myself today. And I don't regret it. I loved every moment of it. But it was definitely something that I had to go through on my own. It was not something that anybody could help me with.
Oh, brilliant story. Brilliant. Who are three people you looked up to and learned from? Could be people in your life or people you studied from afar.
They're all people close to me. Um, my best friend I met, her name is Caroline, at Crunch. She became one of my clients. And throughout my life, like I'm not an emotional type of person, right? That's not, you kind of learn how to harden yourself. You have to separate emotion versus the task at hand. And she was the first person that I ever had gotten emotional with. She's the strongest person I've ever met in my life. She's a mom of four. One, two, no, one, two, three, yeah, four. Mom of four. She works full time. She's a nurse. She propels herself forward still to this day. She's overcome so many health conditions and not just one part of it being cancer, other parts being, massive amounts of weight loss to get her body right again, as far as her internal health. And just watching her overcome what she needs to do to make sure she supports her family, to make sure she supports herself, is one of the most inspiring things I've ever seen in my life. So she's one that if I could always surround myself with her, I absolutely would. Um, of course, my mom and my dad. Um, Growing up, I moved out super early. So to think back on this, it's pretty big. It's true what they say, when you get older, you learn to appreciate the little things that your parents have done for you. I never thought that'd be true. Never, ever thought that that would be actually true. But we had a recent scare with my family and my father, and that's where things kind of really broke down for me. My family doesn't know the medical field like I do, so I had to be the strong one, of course, and help them understand what is happening, what the screens read, what he needs to do, how we can help him, and things like that. And um, watching him be where he was at compared to how he was when I was growing up really put things into perspective of how, strong um, my parents are. Wow. All right. Sorry.
Take your time. I'm sure they're very proud of you.
Wow. Um, didn't expect that, but that's what he said. he has never said, I'm proud of you until that day. So that was probably 3 weeks ago, which is why it's so still like raw with me today. Um, but with that being said, he's taught me a lot of independence. Um, so the independence that I learned from him helps me work on my car, helps me go through my day-to-day life, right? And helps me become the person I am because I don't I joke with my friends, I don't need no man. I choose to have one. um that's kind of what we joke with, but it's true. Like the independence he's taught me, I can do the things I need to do. And without that, I wouldn't be where I am today. And last but not least, my fiance. He has been such a big role model for me. He is one of the people I would surround myself to grow more and more. He grows himself daily, whether it's reading, whether it's listening to podcasts, whether it's, you know, figuring out how to quiet his own mind and surrounding myself with someone for the rest of my life like that really is super important to me. So it's someone that I can learn from daily. It's someone that I can look up to and, we can help each other grow. And that's incredibly important in such a high paced life. And for someone to understand that, we're both traveling, we're both busy, we're both being successful. It's such a massive thing in my life. So yeah, sorry about that.
Oh, outstanding answers. I mean, I'm very happy that you have your fiance, that you two push each other and challenge each other and sharpen each other and understand each other. And that makes me very happy to hear that you have a partner like that. And also, I love to hear that all your experiences in EMT and in the health field, you were able to use it to serve your father and your
Yeah.
family in a tough time. I love it when people's skill sets that they build over the years, their knowledge and skills, they can use it to help people they care about the most. I think that's a beautiful thing. So all your years as an EMT, all your years in health and fitness, all your studies in school, you were able to use it in that way, which I just love to hear stories like that. If you could have dinner with any historical figure, who would you choose?
This was interesting. That's such an interesting question. Because honestly, defining a historical figure is the first step, right? Who's historical
Sure.
and
Good
who's
point.
designated as historical? Um, I would say the first woman, and it's such strange. I'm sure you've experienced people saying, more present or more past individuals that everybody knows. But Catherine Switzer was the first woman to ever run a marathon with a bib.
Okay.
And it's not my thing to like idolize individuals, but she would be one that I would love to sit down, have dinner, and just ask her why. You're right. From the very beginning, you said that, there aren't a lot of, unfortunately, strong women role models right now. And there might be some, but at the end of the day, are they actually truly relatable, or are they so successful? Sometimes it doesn't break that line of having someone be like, oh, I can relate to her 100%. Me getting emotional is something that I'm okay with. Usually I'd be embarrassed. But at this point, I'm more confident in who I am, that's super important for other people to see, that it's okay to be emotional. For her, she went through like, why did you decide in a time and an era where women did not do those types of things, why did you defy all the odds, decide to pick up running shoes, find a coach that would train you, and then go run a marathon and try to, while being almost tackled by a lot of individuals, to make sure you didn't complete it? I
Mm.
think it's inspiring. I think it's amazing. um I think it set the tone for a lot of women. And yeah, I would love to sit down with her and just probe.
Okay. Oh, excellent choice. Is that an option to sit down with her? Is she you think that's an option?
I don't know, to be honest. I was trying to figure that out. I couldn't find it that she had passed. So she might be still alive. Um, but I don't think it's actually plausible for me to sit down with her.
Well, if she's still with us, I'd love that to see that happen for you, because that's a great choice and a great story. That's a great answer. What about a favorite quote?
I'm big on quotes, I'll be honest. To find the most perfect one is hard, but
You could share a few if you want. If there's a few or one or whatever you want to do.
I have I wanted to choose one that if anybody reading or listening to this, they could kind of grasp something from, something that was near and dear to myself. And it comes from the book, The Power of One More by Ed Milet. Have you heard of it?
I have.
Perfect. So for one more day is basically the quote, but there is more to it. So the quote goes, I may not be the smartest or the best talker. I definitely don't have the highest IQ, right? I'm not the tallest, the strongest, the best looking, or any of that, but I'm not going to get outworked. I'm going to outwork you. I, I'm going to do one more rep in the gym. I'm going to make one more phone call. I'm going to make one more text, email. I'm going to do one more. And I think that speaks volumes because in today's day and world, when things get tough, some people like to quit. And you're going to quit before the best thing in life happens because the only good things that happen come with struggle. So if you can just do one more thing, you're going to break through that wall. It's like that little picture with the two guys in the tunnel and they're digging and one's at the end, but the other one and is turning around, the other one's still working. It's that picture in word form. You just have to do one more. And when you wake up, you have that mindset. When you're going through a tough time, I can do this one more day. I cannot quit one more day, or I can do one more thing. And I think that that definitely speaks volumes into a lot of different lives.
Brilliant choice. Brilliant choice. Great story behind it. And it really ties into your definition of excellence, which is to do a little extra, do a little bit more than, and
Yeah.
it, that's a real theme in your personal philosophy. And I think it's absolutely one of the key habits of the best in class is to do a little extra, go plus one, do
Yeah.
one more. I love that we keep coming back to that. I don't think we can say it enough. How about your three of your favorite books on personal development, biographies, any book like that that um, you'd recommend to our audience?
Power of One More. Definitely. That's by Ed Milet. Um, you're badass at sorry, at making money. Is the title, I swear, by Jen Sincero. Um, so that book, when I was a trainer, I didn't understand my value, my worth. So that book really helped me understand what I was worth and that it's okay to ask for that, right?
Mm.
And then Savage Leader, that's
Okay.
by Darren. I think I don't know how to pronounce his last name, but it's Rinky, I think,
Okay.
or Rink. That book was a pivotal moment in my leadership career. It's one book that I actually use with all of my leaders that I oversee now, as far as my managers. We go through those tasks and the definition of being a savage leader versus a traditional leader, and making sure that we are always being a savage leader for our staff so that they can be successful as well.
Okay. What was that? What's your number one takeaway from Savage Leader? Or you'd want to share, a lesson from that book that you'd want to share with our listeners?
Hmm. The purpose of being a savage leader is to go, like we've kind of consistently said, the going one extra step, doing one more thing. So an example would be like with a traditional leader, if someone asks you, how can I grow? You're just going to tell them. You're going to give them the resource to read. You're going to tell them how to grow. But a savage leader will show them. I'm going to sit right next to you. Let me show you what I do on a daily. Let me show you what tools I use, what books I read. That's the definition of a savage leader, is going that extra mile for those that you are leading to make sure that they are being equally successful and not hindering their own success.
Okay. Okay. Excellent. And I love that you use a book with your leadership team to develop your team. I think it's one of the smartest things a leader can do in terms of developing more leaders, is to have some sort of curriculum, a library, a book that you discuss, that they follow. That's a real separator for, for someone who's great at the hardest thing in leadership for me by far is creating more leaders. That is the toughest thing for leaders to do, and very few leaders are able to do it effectively. If you can do that, you're extremely valuable. And what I've seen over the years, those who are really great at it, they use a tool like you're talking about, the Savage Leadership book, a book that people can follow that has principles and tools in it. Yeah, so well done there. And thanks for the recommendation. I will look that one up when we're done. What's an inspiring or educational documentary or movie or TV show you'd recommend to the audience? Could be several, could be one big one for you.
I don't really watch a lot of TV. I don't have time. The Swimmers is a really good movie. So I don't watch a lot of TV, and if I do, I'll be honest, it's trash TV to like get my mind off everything. But The Swimmers is one movie that I came across. I want to say it was like 2 months ago. And this was about refugees that escaped their country in war. It's a true story. And they were Syrian sisters. They defied the odds and ended up competing as swimmers in the Rio Olympics on a refugee team. And that movie, it was just so fascinating to watch because the two sisters, you had your very confident one that was like, no, let me on the team. I'm worth it. I'm good. I'm here. And then she would jump in the pool and just prove them wrong. And you'd have the more reserved sister that was just trying to pull her sister out of the water. Like, let's be safe. So you had two emotions to it, which I think is what made the movie itself, because you had such an emotional story attached to these two amazingly strong women that overcame so much in their personal lives and wanted to accomplish their dreams overall, that they did the things they need to do so. And that movie is it's just an inspirational movie. If you ever really need that vote of confidence, or if that vote of, hey, I just need to see someone else do something amazing, that's a good one to watch.
Okay. Excellent. Excellent. And something I want to point out there, that when you mentioned that you don't watch a lot of TV, which is a common answer when I talk to a lot of high performers, and when you do, you just watch TV to shut your mind off. And that's really, really important to have some, there's a lot of high performers listening to this episode. It's important to have something built into your day or week where you shut your brain off from work, from your goals, from performance. That's crucial. Steve Jobs, when he was rebuilding Apple the second time around, he made time to watch TV with his wife at night. As busy as he was, and as much as they were doing at Apple, he made time to do that. If he can do it, we can do it. We can make time to do that. And it's not laziness or lack of focus on the goal. It's actually smart. And it actually serves our goal when we have our time to shut our brain down, whether it's watching TV or walking in nature and being present to the moment. That's also shutting our brain down. I think that's really important. And I'm glad you said that, essentially giving people permission, it's good. You can do that and still be really successful, as busy as you are and as successful as you are. Nicole, what's your proudest accomplishment?
I think that's up and coming still. I don't think I've hit that yet. Like I mentioned, growing the ladder was never like in the stars for me. It was always a reward and it was always something that I viewed, if you want me in that role and you think I would be useful and beneficial, I'll do it. If you believe in me, I'll believe in myself. And that's kind of what's happened over the years is as I've grown and as I've, put my all into helping the people I need to help, um, vice versa, they wanted to put me somewhere else to do the same thing again, which I love. That helps me grow as an individual and it helps me grow overall and helps me help others. And that's overall my dream is to help as many people as I can. So I don't think my proudest accomplishment has actually come yet. I think it's coming, right? Right now, with everything going on, the biggest struggle I have is my training for my sports. So work always comes first, family, big changes have happened with my family. They will always come first. So my training has taken a step back, and it's something I talk with my coach about almost weekly. And he keeps me positive. He keeps me moving forward. He adjusts my schedule as needed, which I'm so thankful for him. But when I make worlds this year, and it's when, because it's going to happen, that's going to be my proudest accomplishment because I was able to do it while being underneath so much, I don't want to say stress, but such a busy time of my life would be a better way to describe it. So that'll be my biggest accomplishment.
Okay. Oh, beautiful, beautiful. And I love that you said when. I love that you said when I make worlds because our words are so powerful. Another great Gannon Baker quote: "Our words create our world."
Yeah.
And I love that you're speaking that into existence, right? It's not if, it's when, and I will be proud of it because I did it. Despite being busy and a regional manager and being very involved with my family, that's exciting. Can't wait to celebrate that with you very soon. What is one piece of advice you'd give to someone starting out in their career or business?
It takes longer than a year. Don't give up. It takes perseverance. It takes resilience. It takes one more. Just because you might not be good at it now, it doesn't mean you're not going to be good at it in the future. You can do great things. You just have to stick to it.
Oh, excellent. Excellent. Powerful words. If you could go back and give your 18-year-old self one piece of advice, what would it be?
Ooh, that goes back to finding myself. So if I could go back, because that was right around that time, I would say do what makes you feel alive. Don't worry about what others think. So with that, um, I was never like I was a big introvert. Meeting you probably like never guessed that, but I was a big introvert. I kept my circle very small. And there are some key players that brought me out in my growth. But one thing that I found thinking back now is I was always worried about what people thought. Is this hairstyle good? Or, I'm not part of the cool kids. I'm not wearing the right clothes. And none of that matters. None of that did. And now that I am where I am and in life in general, not even in this position, but in life, it's looking back is so funny and it's so silly to think about that if I could go back, I would say just live your life. Don't care what anybody thinks, just live it.
Well, you really gave us some solid advice and insight today. And this will be great for all ages. Anyone who's listening will benefit from this. And I appreciate the thoughtfulness of the answers. I know you prepared and thought about these things, and it really comes across in your answers. Going again, one more, doing a little extra. Being over
Yeah.
prepared, and
Yeah.
that's you really exemplified that today. Nicole, where can people find you online, find Crunch online, or anything else you want to share?
Our top pages for Crunch are Crunch Mechanicsburg and Crunch Wilkes-Barre right now. We also are opening another location in Hagerstown, so as well as Frederick. So if you're local to any of those, you could stop by, say hi. Um, and my social media is, I can actually send it to you if you want to link it. It has some like underscores and things like that, but it's Phoenix Athletics. It's the name of my side business I had previously as far as training clients and things like that. You can find me there. or even on Facebook, Nicole Harris. Everything's public. I don't hide anything. So
Okay. Excellent. Nicole, thank you for your time. Congrats on the success, and looking forward to celebrating some more wins here very soon.
yes, thank you. Thank you for having me too. I hope it helps somebody.
Oh, you're welcome. I'm sure it will. Great talking to you, Nicole. Safe travels.
Thank you.